Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another segment of the Easy Talk. I'm talking about hello to old friends, man. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, what's the saying? You wait for a London bus for ages, and all of a sudden, two, three, four, five, six buses come all at the same time. But it's going to be an interesting one because we're going to be talking about a particular player who, for me, I've got to hold my hand up and say I kind of got it wrong, sort of, but it's still early days. But we're going to get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Oh, I can't wait for this one. Yeah, so welcome back on Canon Fodder TV. Yeah, talk about old friends reunited. Yeah, there you go. It's a new channel, Old Friends Reunited. Let's get with the introductions or the hellos. Gary or DWTT or Gary, how are you?
I'm doing good. Or should I say hello, hello?
There's an
You
echo.
probably know me as hello, hello for like the last, like you said, the last year. It's been a year, right? So,
Yeah, it's been a long time, but good to see you back anyway. But I
Thank
know,
you.
although you've not been on our channel, you've been doing great stuff on Arsenal Fan Circle with Ray and all the guys over there. So, yeah, keep it up, brother. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk about another Friends Reunited. Canon Fodder TV. Don Larry.
Yeah, it's been a while, long time. I'm
Too
happy
long.
to be here again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back.
Nice
I've
one.
missed this show. I've missed this show because I've not been able to talk about Arsenal, But I'm back and I'm happy to see my friends, Isaac. And Gary, you're welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Happy to be on. Happy to be on with Don Larry for sure.
Yeah, Larry's just doing my job for me. He's doing the intros, man. and Isaac in the house, man.
Here I come. Today is going to be hot. The hot seat.
So, guys, here's a sports term for you, and no doubt Gary will know this term. I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. So before we kind of lift off on the segments, here is the curveball. So watch this short video, and we can talk about the video. So watch this.
Want to be happy? You see, some of the fans have some of the fans have been telling me that that some of the kids who've completed our education system have not seen us win a league, and I'm so disappointed that yes, we haven't won a league for since 2004. That is 20 years. Yes. 20 years. That is a grown up who can start a family, and they have not seen us win a league. Arteta, if you are listening to this, we want to be happy.
Isaac.
All I want is for him try to play a game without starting Havertz, just to see what happens. Just one, just to see if it's worse.
Do you know what? We'll come to an end on this Easy Talk, man. I tell you what, that £65 million price tag is weighing heavy on Mikel Arteta as well as Kai Havertz's shoulder. To me, Kai Havertz looks like a player who's lost any kind of confidence that he may have had. He's just anyway.
But you see what, Alex? Chelsea were clever in the way they were offloading. They were offloading players with big monies, and it was like, really? How much for 65? And then you go to Mount for how much? And then you go to the Koulibaly, Mendy for how much?
Now I've got to hold my hand up and say I've kind of got things a little bit wrong. I get them wrong. Listen, there's still a long way to go in the Premier League, and Kai Havertz so far, Gary, has done okay within the last 3 games. He looks like a completely different player, Gary. Your thoughts on Kai Havertz?
Well, for me, as soon as I saw him in an Arsenal shirt, I said, okay. For me, the only way this was going to work for him, like it worked for Jesus, is if their introduction to the team looked exactly the same. Meaning, he came on and he did amazing things, and we were like, yes, this is right. This is the right man for the job. It didn't happen. And so I said, all right, well, it doesn't sound like he's going to be the influence on the team isn't going to be the same. So we don't need to rush him in. And after any number of starts, I was happy for him not to start anymore. Let him come in off the bench. Let him get a little bit more confident in his playing. Get more entwined with the team. You know, like even now he's playing better, but he still feels like an outsider. We got to bring him in every time. He seems like he wants to just get out of there as soon as he does anything good. And I don't, I don't know. I don't know if he's having any fun. Think about it. You score the game-winning goal, and they got to drag you over to say bye to the away fans. What is that? So I think it's going to take some time. Somebody said it's like a wounded animal ever for them to get that 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 history out, out of their brain. Keep going back to it. And he looks still like he's not 100% there as an Arsenal player, right? You look at all the players that come in, they take in the Arsenal DNA, and they're like, yes, I'm ready. Rice, Timber seem to be on that kind of level where they just said, I want to be part of this. He hasn't shown it in the way that he responds on the pitch. So I've always said, for me, he still should come off the bench until he's ready. I don't want to force it. I was happy to have him come off the bench. He did well starting in the Champions League game, but I think if we force it, we'll be right back where we were a couple games from now. Going, he probably should sit. I don't want to rush this thing. For me, I'll wait till next year and then I'll go. Well,
Yeah.
thing worked. I think it was a 65 million pound mistake because it's not going to fix us today. It might fix us tomorrow, next year, but today I think we want response just like Timber, just like Rice. That's what we expected from the players that we brought in. Like if you look at all the players we brought in, Raya, immediately they wanted him to come in. He's doing some of the things Arteta wants, some of the things the fans don't like, but his influence on the game is just as we haven't lost much by bringing him on. Havertz, we're trying to drag him in. He's a project. He's too old and too expensive to be a project for Arsenal. So I'm happy to see him get the goals, but I think it's still. I don't want to. I won't feel surprised if he goes back and we're like, this is happening again. It's happening. So
Gary, is it? Are we talking about Kai Havertz because of the price tag, or are we talking about him because he's come from Chelsea? What? Why are we? I want to be fixated about.
For me, it's the price tag because we've allocated a lot of resources to him, so he has to give us something, right? We spent less on Partey, and when he's healthy, we know what we get, right? We spent less on a lot of players, and we see what we got, like Tomiyasu, Ben White. I mean, Ramsdale. Ramsdale, and then even Raya. Like all these players for well less money, we've seen what they're going to give us immediately, and it's worked out. He on the other hand, it's a lot. At this point, we don't need to try to fix a player. We need to fix Arsenal and get Arsenal back, right? We were pretty much a couple injuries away from winning a title last season. We needed somebody that was going to get us over the hump, right? We wanted to forget that we had Jacques on the team. We're not able to do that. So yeah. So so until we're like, well, Jacques is here, maybe things will be different. I think we're still going to be like that. That's a lot of money not to fix what we thought was a little problem. We just want to do. Can you do more than 14 GA for us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we're going to be struggling to get that, I think. So it's a lot of money, and we're far from getting the return. I never thought he was defensive. I never thought we would say his defense is so much better, and that's why we're okay to play him. Then we're forcing him to get goals, right? He's got 3 now, but the first one was a little charity given to him, which I didn't think he would need. He should need to get that. you know. And we always said confidence, confidence, confidence. This is a player that's been around for at least what 6, 8 years or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
a team that went out and spent all this money on him, they showed the confidence in him, and he still doesn't have it in himself. So it's a him problem, and I don't know if they have the right people talking to him because Arteta doesn't do that unless he has trust in you, right? He
Yeah.
puts you back
Yeah.
on the pitch because he has trust in you. You know, if he doesn't, then you know, and that's when we see players leave. So yeah, I I want him to succeed. I just think like we could have gotten two players and probably gotten a similar results, if not better, from those two players, right? Immediately. Whether it would be 5 years from now, we would say it's good, but for two players for the one, maybe it doesn't work out, but at least you took a risk and you got something better out of them. So yeah, I
Okay.
yeah. So that's where I stand with him. I want him to do well, but I'll be okay if it doesn't work out this season the way we want, because we have a better squad than we did last season.
Yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt. Don Larry, your thoughts about our number 29?
Going. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to talk about him in two perspectives. One, I'll talk about him as Kai Havertz, and I also talk about him as Havertz from Chelsea. First, you see, I will advise and admonish us fans to not to rush him. If if we could remember, it took Henry 7 games before he scored his first goal, and later he became the record holder, and he was scoring goals anyhow for Chelsea. I mean for Arsenal. So I think Kai Havertz as a person is somebody who really want to do well, but is like he's a shy person, a quiet man who is suddenly find himself under pressure. You know, coupled with the fact of the price, people are talking about a 65 million waste. You understand? So I will say that we should give him some time. He has scored the first goal, and you see the effort he was putting in the Champions League that
Mm,
makes him to score the second goal. It means now he has realized that he can do it in Arsenal. Then I want to talk to him about as a Chelsea player, as a former Chelsea player, we know that the kind of game Chelsea play, the pattern of play of Chelsea is not the same as pattern of Arsenal. They don't play a free flow football like Arsenal. So he is not used to that background. He's not used to that tradition. He came to a new tradition. He came to a new background where he's going to understand the way we play. You understand what I'm saying? So this is my thought. I would say that we should please leave him, give him some more games, give his confidence as further building, and you can find out such players might come good, and he will be somebody that we rely upon. So I will say that we should not condemn him. Yes, you may feel that the price is high. It was
yeah.
because of the situation on ground at that time, because Chelsea was disposing his players, and then Havertz is one of the highly rated players at Chelsea at that time. That was at that price tag, and there is something that Arteta saw in him that makes him to believe in him so much that he could buy him with such amount of money. And he himself kept on saying that he has confidence in him, that he believes that he will come good. I believe, I believe that Kai Havertz will come good.
Uh, so, Larry, quick question: is he an upgrade on Granit Xhaka?
The two of them cannot be compared,
Mm,
because Zaka is a natural midfielder. I am not sure that Havertz is a natural midfielder. He just now is going under conversion. I think I just trying to convert him. You know how many years he even took Zaka to come good. You understand? So
mm,
Havertz is an attacker, so to say. So for us to now want to, for Atlanta to now want to use him as a defensive midfielder or a defensive, an attacking midfielder, is going to take a while. So one is coming from a different background with a different role. Then two, he's coming into a new background with a new role. So it will take him a time to be able to adapt, which I have seen that he now is beginning to understand his role in that position.
Yeah, but Larry, when you're spending upwards of 50 and 60 million pounds on a player, why are we having to try and fit a player into a system where at the beginning you can see it did not work? When you're spending that amount of money, the player has to adapt instantly. Declan Rice, you're in Timber, they were on it, they hit the ground running, but we spent so much money on Kai Havertz and he's still not quite looking like the player that we need. He hasn't hit the ground running, has he?
Yes, yes. People are different. Let's compare this to academics. Some students are there that they don't read for long. All they need is to just catch the glimpse of what the teacher will say and they keep it in their heart and they develop on it. Some students might need to study very hard, to be able to get to the level they want. So people are different. Declan Rice is a natural defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
You see him, he's a natural, he's an inborn, he has that potential. Are you getting me? If tomorrow, if you want to know if Declan Rice is good, convert him to attacking midfielder or let him play a striker. You will know that he cannot do it. When you are playing the position you like, that's what he has been playing all his days, even in West Ham. I'm not saying that I know he's a good player. He's a natural good player, but also we should also realize that Kai Havertz is not playing his position. He's not playing his natural position. So we should also know that. It's like you took a student from class 6 and you took him to grade 6 to grade 8. It will take him time to be able to know what is going on. So this is where I see if for him to adapt to that position they put him, he needs time. He needs time. For the price, yes, for me I say the 65 is much. It's too much. It's overpriced. And considering the fact that Chelsea wanted to just dispose all of them, but probably there are some teams that also are trying to compete. And I'm still believing that there is something Arteta saw in him. So it happens sometimes. A player might be, a coach or a manager might have a belief in a particular player and bring him on a very high rate. Then he comes in and flop. It's natural. It comes in like that sometimes. So, but I believe that Kai Havertz will still do well.
Okay. Brother Isaac.
Yes, I've been waiting patiently for this turn now, and I like to put it out there. Before those who are watching come roasting me, I know I'm one of the person who's critical about Havertz. I was critical, yes, and there are so many factors that contribute to us being critical to his performances. And perhaps there is a saying over here in my country that says, an old man seated at the valley is able to see what a child who seated on a mountain cannot see. And I want to hope Arteta is the old man and he has seen something. And the fans, we are the children who cannot see anything. Number one, the price tag that came with Havertz is one of the talking points. Number two, over the years, the players that have come from Chelsea to Arsenal have not been good. Number three, from a business point of view, seems like we were robbed. Why? You look at the players that we bought with less money than Havertz, and they hit the ground running. You look at Odegaard, he came in good. Ben White came in good and he can play multiple positions. Tomiyasu came in good with half the price and can play multiple positions. Gabriel Jesus himself, lower than him, 45, and he came in good, hit the ground running. I understand criticism comes from We bought you at 65. We expect you to hit the ground running, because at this point and moment, the standards that we have set for this team, the bar is very high. Had we bought Havertz for, let's say, 20 million, I'd like to assure you that the pressure or this criticism will have not been there. You buy a player for 20 mil and he doesn't come in good, all of us will be saying, let's give him time. We even bought him for less money because he was not good at Chelsea. We'll all be defending him. But the price tag is the major point. An example will be, if we bought Declan Rice for 105 and he became a disappointment, I like to assure you, today we'll be talking about Declan Rice and not Kai Havertz. But because he hit the ground running, we are even telling the West Ham fans that we robbed you off. You could have even asked for 20 more meals. That is the point. So I want Havertz to do good because I love Arsenal. I will not want him to be a failure, because him being a failure is a failure on Arsenal. So him doing good will contribute to us doing good. So I want him to do good, and I'm hopeful that he continues from where he is started. From what I saw in the last game, the Champions League game, if he performs like he did, I'll hold up my hands and say, well, I'm sorry for being too critical about him, but you've got to understand us as a fan base. What we want is to be happy. We've not been happy for a very long time. We've suffered. We have struggled. We've not been in the Champions League for 5 seasons, since 2000, since Wenger left, that is. And all my friends keep, when I tell them we're playing good football, or they ask me, what has the good football brought you?
Yeah.
And last season, they were so critical of me, saying that even Man United had to lift a trophy, and the only thing that we did as Arsenal was lifting our hands to surrender, and we did not do good. And actually, you see this competition is very stiff right now, and looking at this kind of system we're having at the moment, and you realize we are top of the table, but we are still complaining as a fan base that we are not playing good football because of the standards that we have set for ourselves. If you set the bar too high, you've got to meet the standards, and that is what we've done. If we pay 65 mil, we expect you to hit the ground running. And before he came on the Brentford game, I was sharing with brother Alex the other time that when he was subbed on, I said, Havertz score, and I'm going to forgive you all the wrongdoings that you've done us. He scored. My fellow fans asked me, have you forgiven him? And I told them, yes, I have forgiven him. And when he scored during the Champions League, one of the fans said, you forgave him. That is why he's scoring. And that was just on a lighter note. But what we want at the end of the day is to be happy and to win. If we win the Prem this season, we'll be the happiest fan base. If we win a double, we'll be overjoyed. If we win a treble, of which I don't know if Arteta can go for a treble, the most I believe he can go for is a double.
Oh. Can't have that. So I'm sorry, man. Hold my hand up. I'm sorry.
Before I forget, Alex, before I forget something, actually, I was looking at Havertz. There is an interview he did yesterday, and he surprised some Arsenal kids training, and I was looking at his demeanor. He is a different player from Xhaka. Xhaka will meet you head on, but Havertz, he's kind of shy, and that reminded me of the Tottenham game when he had a hard tackle, and the Tottenham players were all over him. No, not Tottenham, sorry, Newcastle. Newcastle players were all over him. He was like he was disappearing into himself. If you do that to Xhaka, he will grab you, he will fight you. So he has a different demeanor, and we right now we want is someone who can fight. As Arsenal fans, we've not what we lost in Xhaka is a fighter. We got ourselves Havertz, whose number is not number 8, natural. He himself says he doesn't know his best position. He and some of the pundits are saying he can play a number 10. Some of them saying he's playing a false 9. Some of them saying he can play midfield. And you can see he cannot play number 10 because actually the number 10 is diminishing from football right now. We're having number 8 playing across, and he cannot displace Odegaard. That is it. Odegaard is a great creative midfielder. He cannot displace Odegaard, number 1. He cannot be a defensive midfielder, and he cannot play up top. So he can play a false 9. So you see, it's like we are like cutting and pasting in some positions. We are actually what Arteta is doing. He's experimenting with Havertz.
Yeah. But what about what Gary and Larry says? Literally, they're not really in a rush to have Kai Havertz come good this season. But like you rightly said, I think £65 million, we're expecting the players to hit the ground running. We don't have any time to mollycoddle you, to hug you. You need to go out there and perform, because I think he's one of the top earners as well. Is he not?
Yes.
He's one of the top earners, isn't he?
Okay, Ale, please, before you go, Isaac, you see, I would not
He
like
is one of the top earners. Actually, I don't know if he's the highest at the moment. He might be the highest. And we have this habit of bringing in Chelsea players and making them top earners. We brought in Willian, and he was the top earner. Now we have Havertz, and he's top there. And all these Chelsea players. Sorry for taking time, but I've got to applaud this. Arteta has got to understand us. All the Chelsea players that he's given us have not been good enough. Willian, not good enough. David Luiz, not good enough. The goalie we got from Chelsea, that was Unai's goalie, and he put him out in the final, that is Europa League final, and he sold it as out. Four goals. We cannot forgive that. Whereas we've given them players who've done good. We have given them some players who've done good. But the players they have given us in return, we cannot be proud of their performances. So if Havertz hits the ground running, then we'll be proud of his performances. That's all.
Larry, you want to say something?
Yeah, afterwards
yes,
I would like to say something
what
too.
I was trying to add is this. You see, we should try not to compare players in this argument, because if you say Odegaard came, he spent 1 year loan with us. So he understood what Arsenal is. He understood our tradition, and he has known what to do when we sign him back on a permanent basis. Jesus, I want you also to understand one thing, that Jesus is a striker, and we bought him to strike for us. Even the Gabriel Jesus we are talking about, there are some fans that are still complaining that that's why people are still talking about this that we should get a new striker to also act, or in addition to Gabriel Jesus. You understand? So that is why he too has not really performed to the level that we wanted. You understand? That's our that. So I would like, and the same Jesus we are talking about is being played in his position that he wanted. We are not doing that to Kai Havertz at the moment. We should also consider that, because if that is also part of what is affecting him. He is not a midfielder. He's a striker, either false 9 or original 9 or normal left or right. He's a striker. That's the person he is, and that's what he has been doing, even at Bayer Leverkusen, at Chelsea. So, but here Arteta put him to play attacking midfield, which is moving from the back. So let us give him time. This is what I'm saying. Yes, we might believe that the price is too high, but let us not compare him to some other established Arsenal players or those players that are really playing in their position they wanted. That is my argument. And I believe that Havertz will still come good. He will come good. That's my own take. That's my own thought.
But he has to come good, Larry. At that
Yes,
price,
he
he
has
has
to.
to come low. There
Yes,
can be
I
no
agree with
ifs for babies. It has to come good. But yeah. Uh, DWTT, you want to say something before we move on?
Hopefully this is quick, but I guess we are a lot of it also is what we experienced with Pepe, right? And a player with it costs us a lot of money, was supposed to
you.
bring us a lot of stuff, a lot of goals, a lot of something, whatever it was, and we didn't get it, right? We needed to get goals, we needed to get an assist, we needed to see some highlights, reels and stuff, but we didn't get any of that. He gave me that same vibe, the way he was playing and all of that. And then the way the team went after him was a little bit like they went after him, I think, a lot harder than they did after Rice. At Rice, they seemed to be they had a plan for that. They started out really low, right? We all looked at that first bid and went, "Wow, well, that's not going to work," because they said they wanted this much. Chelsea said they wanted a certain amount, and we got really close to that number to start. What? There's a difference between the two, but we went out and went and gave them exactly what they wanted in the time that they wanted. My understanding of that whole situation was if we would have taken our time, they probably would have come down to our number because I think they had a deadline or something like that where they needed to get players off their books, is my understanding. So I think we played that one right into their hand as opposed to we should have a little bit more control. It wasn't a player that one they probably wanted. It wasn't a player that was wanted by any other team, right? I think we wanted Mont first, right? Like
Yeah.
we wanted both of the players that they really were okay to let go based on their actions afterwards, right? So we just helped them out for what reason I don't know. We played a little bit tougher with West Ham, and I would have liked to have seen that with Chelsea, And the other thing we talk about is he doesn't look confident, but then he puts his hands up to his ears. Usually you do that and you back it up, right? So, and I guess he did back it up because he did score the next game. But I'm like, that's where I think he's still trying to. He's still not mature in terms of his Arsenal, what the Arsenal DNA is, right? Like that should be a player that looks confident, but it doesn't look as confident to me. I don't know it doesn't look right to me or something. Because I expect when you do that, you just turn around and you punish the team the next time you touch the ball, kind of thing. And then everybody's like, okay, I get this. I don't feel that yet. It might come, but I don't feel it yet. So yeah. Like I said, I think we all want him to do well. I think we all just are. Arsenal really, really put a lot of trust that it's going to work. And so far, I think because the team is so good all around him, we absorb any negativity anything he does negative. I think we're in a better state than we were the last couple of years, right? Any player we put in, if we put one player in there that doesn't bring everything that's required, we still are good enough to overcome that. Right? We've seen it. And if you take Havertz out and you bring in like a Trossard and he's having a good day, it's not even funny. It's not even close, right? The team has to go in their low block just because they know better, right? They know they cannot. Havertz is in there. I think they might think they have a chance. Hopefully not so much going forward, but yeah. So that's my little take on him. Yeah.
Just very quickly, you mentioned about Pepe.
Yeah.
Not Emery didn't want him. He wanted Wilfried Zaha, didn't he?
Yep.
And they gave him Pepe.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, and that's the thing everybody talks about. Why doesn't Emery do the same as Arteta? I think the club did not have his backing I think it didn't have his back in because we're seeing what a team that backs their manager in Arsenal looks like, right?
Absolutely.
We've been close to 200 mil or over in the last couple of windows. I think they trust what he's doing, and they liked him better. They wanted him sooner. It's almost like this whole Raya thing. Arteta wanted Raya what, a year or two ago.
Yep.
He wanted Jorginho a year or two ago. He finally gets it. It doesn't matter who's there. I don't care. I'm getting my man now. So, I, it's a strange way to do the business, but that's what they're doing. You know,
Yeah.
1 year, 2 year later for Jorginho is a lot. For Raya, not so much because they're still young enough. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Listen, let's go on to talk about another player. A player who has not played since August. Thomas Partey has made just 4 Premier League appearances in an injury-hit season. Over the last start, again, coming up to the end of August, the midfielder suffered a thigh injury in training ahead of a Champions League clash against Sevilla and recently underwent surgery to resolve the problem, with Arteta describing his absence as a big miss. Now I'm thinking, a big miss? All this, top of the Premier League, we got out of the group stages of Champions League without Thomas Partey, Isaac. We need to sell the party because there's no party. Sell him.
Sell the party, and then get someone else in as his replacement. Because so far so good. We have been so patient with him. And I remember last season when he was out, we did struggle a lot. Thanks to God that this season we have a Rice who's covering that position. Had it been that we've been dependent on him this season, we'll be struggling at the moment. It is quite unfortunate that he's been stricken with injuries now and again. When we needed him most, he was not there. But we have got Rice. I remember there were stats about Rice that last season he played 50 games for West Ham. Season before that he played 50 games for West Ham. So what Rice gives you is consistency. He's not injury prone. And that's what we need at the moment. For you to win, you need that someone who can give you 50 games a season, or you have a good backup. You know, sometimes you have a player like we had him last season, and then who was his backup? El Neni. You can look at the drop. That drop was too big. At the moment, there are talks going around about Douglas Luiz, and I don't think Aston Villa are going to sell Luiz as it is, because he's a very important player for them at this point. I don't know who we're going to get in, but it is a position that we really need to have someone in as soon as possible. If we want to be serious contenders, we have got to bring someone in, and perhaps sometimes when you want something, you've got to let it go. We've held on him for a very long time. We've trusted him for a very long time. We've given him time now and again. January, even if he recovers, he's going away for AFCON. And that is something that is not good for the team at the moment. And given the pressure that even the fan base are giving the team at the moment, because what we want to see is results. That is all we want to see at the moment. Results, and results. That's the only language that we understand at the moment. So, and I heard Juventus wanted him, and I'm not sure anymore if they want him because of the injury problems. I'm not sure if they want him on a permanent deal or a loan deal as it is, because if I was a sporting director at Juventus, I look at it differently from a business point. So is something we have got in our hands, and the history of Arsenal not being good in selling players is something I'll also consider, The highest we've sold, the most expensive we sold is Bolagun, and is someone who's come from the youth ranks. And I don't know how we're going to go about it, but we really need a replacement for Partey as it is at this point in time. We really need, and something else to consider: his age, and the injuries, and the injuries are hitting now and again. With his age, I cannot be certain that we'll not be disappointed again if he picked another injury. And to couple that one up,
Brother Isaac, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just trying to get his history of being injured since he was playing at Athletic. And if my memory serves me well, he was almost never injured until he started to play for Arsenal in the Premier League. So is it the Premier League the physicality is too much? Is it the weather? What is it about players who come and play for Arsenal? Look at you in Timber. Never got injured. First game, Nottingham Forest, ACL, out for the whole season. What's going on?
I like to maybe there are several things I can attribute to that. Number one, for Julian Timber, perhaps the intensity in this league. For a party, perhaps it is a misfortune for him because he never got injured, and Atleti is a physical was a physical side. At the moment, it is not a physical side because they are playing attacking football at the moment. But previously, they were a physical side, they were a defensive side, so he could take all the pressure. But with age is another contributing factor, I can say to that, and the intensity. When players tend to age, and then there is the intensity of the game, then they are exposed in that manner. And let me give an example of this guy who's at United, who came from Real Madrid. Their midfielder, they got a midfielder from Real Madrid. Casemiro, yes. Casemiro in Real was rarely injured, and rarely was he booked. He didn't get red cards at Real. But look at it at United. He's either injured or he's either suspended. If it is not an injury, it is a suspension. The physicality of this league at the moment, and then the age. So there could be so many factors. And for Partey, we've sent him on international duty with a physio twice. 2 times. He goes for international duty alongside there is a physio. What does that tell you as a someone who's doing research or who's keen with details? That tells you we are afraid he could be injured at any point.
Yeah, absolutely. Don Larry, top of the Premier League. We just qualified. Well, actually, we just got out of the group stages, Champions League. All this without Thomas Partey. Surely we've got to sell him.
I think.
Don't tell me no, please. You're not going to tell me no. Keep him.
Alex, I think Arsenal can continue to do the party without Partey. Because without him, we've been doing well. I know that his presence in the midfield is always very good, and when he's there, he operates and commands the midfield very well. But that is why we have to spend so much money to bring in Declan Rice, because we've seen this. Just like Isaac said, when he was in Atletico Madrid, he never got injured, but that was his base. And then the kind of football they play in Spanish league is different from our Premiership. Spanish league they play something they call space football. They give you space to operate. They don't tackle. They don't tackle people like they do in the Premiership. like look at the example you are giving now. The guy from the Real Madrid that you just mentioned, even Varane, even him. You understand? Because that the way they play over there, if they don't, it's not too intensive. The intensity is not hard. The defenders or opponents are not too. The tackling doesn't come hard as it does in Premiership. This is the style they play in the Premiership, and it's really coming. It's coming upon him at this age, and it's aging also. His legs cannot carry such tackles again. So I think it's good it's good we sell him or we keep him like we used to do and use him like Mohamed El Neni. When we have reached the bottom pot, then we turn at him say, okay, Partey, come and go and do this job. You understand?
Mm,
So
mm.
if they want to sell him, fine. If you still want to keep him, because also he's still good and he has experience. So whatever decision that Arsenal takes, I will abide by it. You know, because he's getting old, like Isaac said, and he's going. He goes to the international duty with a physiotherapist and doctors. So that tells you that his days in the Premiership is becoming numbered.
But you know, Larry, you know, if Arsene Wenger was still here, you remember he had the policy: once a player hits 30, maybe a 1 year contract extension, and then they would be sold. You know, so
Yes.
yeah. Gary, um, party without party, there's no party.
Yes. This is another one. I mean, there's a lot to unpack it here. So first things, we'll start with at least how Arteta decided to use him as a right back. Me, for me, that was like the start of this whole thing. I mean, the man can't. He in his preferred position, in his best position, the position that he made his name on, is really good when he's healthy. So Arteta, to because we have injuries, decides that I'm going to put him at right back because I need to have him on the pitch. I'd rather and for me, everybody said, you know what, he inverts anyways, but for me, it's extra movement that he's not. I don't believe he's familiar with it. He's been doing that. He's played at number 6 so many times in his career. It's second nature to him. Now he's going to go out to right back at his age with his injury record. I think you're asking too much, and he gets hurt in practice, and we haven't seen him since, basically, right? So I think they rolled the dice on that one, and they took a risk, and it failed miserably. The last thing we wanted was not to have a Rice Partey midfield. However you wanted to use them, right? I mean, we said if okay, Jacques is gone, we've got Rice, we've got Partey, we've got Erdogan, that we'll be fine in that midfield. Nobody will be fine defensively for sure. Offensively, we'll figure it out, and maybe we'll put Erdogan in position to where he can be more of an attacking player there because he won't have to worry about the defense as much. Because I think Rice and Partey would have that covered. So for me, I think that's where it all started. Now, so he goes to Ghana, he plays there, comes back, and is injured immediately after, and I'm like, so now we're waiting, waiting, waiting. Suppose he'll be ready to play soon, just in time to go back to play for Ghana for a month. He'll be gone for about 3 to 4 weeks, and we're gonna have to hold our breath and wish upon a star that he comes back and is able to play for us in February, right? So it's a big risk, and I don't think the team can do that anymore. Uh, I don't think they can afford to do that anymore. This is you're taking on too much now. You know what I mean? We're able to get by, but we need somebody at the end of the season. And so far, he has not been able to finish the season for us, either due to injury or he just wore down like he did last season. Last season, I think we used him too much, and it just we got the worst out of him at the end of the season. So we need better than that. So
Yeah.
I would be okay if they sell him now. I was okay if they sold him before. I personally, when the talk was Casado or Rice, I was like, both, please.
Yeah.
Just get both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get both.
Yeah.
Sell Rice and whoever else you need to, and I'll take that. Right? As because you can only imagine what things would be like if we had both those players. I know it was a lot of money, but we're right now. I don't think we got the 50 mil we wanted out of Partey, right? I don't think we got what we wanted. We got some nice. We got some almost. If he could have finished the season, we would have almost got there. If if too many ifs there, and
Yeah.
at his age, I don't think we can take that risk anymore. We've gotten younger, right? And each time we've gotten younger, it's been better for us, right? So, yeah, Partey, and how did they sell him? It was like you had a chance to sell him to Juventus for 30, and
Saudi Pro League.
I think it was 30, and we were like, no, we don't want to do that. Now whenever we sometimes hold back on that sale, it sometimes come back to bite us. We didn't want to sell.
Now it will be 15.
Yeah, we didn't want to sell Maitland-Niles for 30, 40, and he basically walked for free. Right?
Free.
Yeah.
We're holding on to Emile Smith-Rowe and Reece Nelson. When we probably could have sold at least one or two of them, and we can't play them. Partey, we can't play him, so it's a wasted resource, a waste of the money right now. So
Gary, very quickly. So if we roll forward now, January, would you sell Emile Smith-Rowe?
Yeah, we're not playing him. Yeah, if somebody wants to buy him, yes, because even if he comes back good, I think we need to get something a little bit more assured, right? We need to get something a little bit closer to like their availability is a lot higher, right? Because it just doesn't work out for us. He probably needs to go somewhere away, and maybe there's a buyback clause in there or something like that. Let him go back, just play some football, not be concerned about coming back to Arsenal anytime soon. Work on his game, hopefully get healthy and all of that. I think Reece Nelson has an engine in him. We never get to see it.
Yeah.
We never get to see it. I mean, any highlights that he has just die away, right? The Southampton game, right? Nice finish of the game there, and then we're like, that doesn't help him get more minutes. You know, the brace he got last season. We're still trying to get him on the pitch. Why?
Yeah.
Saka does not have to play 90 minutes every game. You go up 5.5, which is the most of any English team in the Champions League, and we can't bring on Reece Nelson at halftime. We bring on more defensive players. That's the easiest time to bring on a Saka, right? You're up 5. If you lose from there, then you've picked a really bad squad. So So for me, Partey, going back to the Partey, I think his time is done because it's not. We need to move on. We need more assurances that you will be available. You know, and he's hit that age. I think that
Gary,
doesn't work for us.
A couple of comments in the live chat.
Yeah.
So I've got one here from Connor who says,
"Let me say something before we go on."
Yeah, very quickly. Go on, Isaac.
I was saying, Arteta playing Partey at right back. That I'll put it as Caselgia. Was the nostalgia on Caicedo, because Caicedo can play right back. That is what he wanted and he could not. And actually, he was forcing him playing right back because of the difference he had with Gabriel. So the partnership at the centre back was not there. So he's got to handle that, his differences with his players. And there's a documentary I was watching that the injury records on players or nowadays, or that is soccer players, is increasing, unlike in the past.
Yeah.
And they was attributing that because of the game has changed. So the injury record is shooting. And this season alone, we've had close to 180 injuries in the Prem alone. So that tells you the game has changed. The intensity is much higher. So players will be injured more often than it was in the past.
Okay. Thank you for Isaac. Just go on in the live chat. So we've got Aldric. Good evening, Aldric. Actually, good afternoon. He says, if Partey is going to be fit, I'll keep him. He is the best in his position, and I dream to see him with Rice and Martin Odegaard. Well, if you continue playing them an inverted right back, we're never going to get to see that, are we, Aldric? If Partey is healthy for the last 10 games this season, we have the best midfielder in that league to close with a Rice, Partey, and Erdegaard. But again, the guarantee that he can play, he won't play the majority of the season. I mean, crikey, Man City don't play all their players throughout the 38 games in the season, so it's about rotation. But
Yeah.
got to have the players fit. They've got to stay fit, Gary, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've got to be
Yes.
fit.
Yes. And you know what? And I think one thing that Arsenal probably needs to look at their past when they when they were looking at Douglas Luiz when we had the injuries to I think it was Partey and I think even El Neni maybe I forgot I think we had two injuries in midfield and we're like Douglas Luiz, let's bring him in. That and supposedly they didn't want to spend either 25 or 35 mil for him, and now he's worth almost double that or something like that. It's like you knew what you're
80.
doing, you just didn't pull the trigger, right? And you didn't actually just say, you know what, we know what we need. We don't want to take this risk again. El Neni isn't really what we want to be. We don't want to have to go to our third choice who's coming off a knee injury, right? We'd rather get somebody a little bit more established. So I think they need to it's one of those things where you have to listen to your heart, or you actually you had to write a good plan. We have these injuries show up. Douglas Luiz could be the answer. If we had Douglas Luiz right now, we'd be laughing, right? Because they may have still brought in Rice, maybe not, but we would have been in a better situation, I think, because he's still playing, right? Partey's not, so yeah. I think they
And
just need to
again,
listen. Like they have good thoughts, they just never they never complete it, right? If they dealt with Chelsea the same way they dealt with West Ham, I think we would have got Havertz for less than we should have. If they handle the Douglas Luiz situation based on it looked like it looked like they just were like reacting, but they thought this one through. I think because we're all looking at Douglas Luiz now, going, he would be
Yeah,
good on our team, right? So the scouting seems to be good, but sometimes they just need to just go and do it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hello,
But
everybody.
but also, yeah, I mean, you've spoken about Reece Nelson. We've spoken about Elmo Smith Rowe. Those players knocking on the door, but they can't guarantee that they'll be injury free for the whole season. And it's like we've got our strong 11, but when we start to tinker with the strong 11, you can see there's still there's a drop off, isn't there, in quality? So we've got to sell
Yeah.
Reece
Well,
Nelson. We've got to
Trossard
sell
shows you that you can plug and play with players, right?
quality players.
Trossard,
Yeah,
and we have three fullbacks now that we can play any two of them,
yeah.
and we don't miss a beat. We don't have that for our center backs yet, but we see it in different parts of the pitch, right? Trossard comes in, plays any of four positions, we don't see a drop. Whoever sits out from the three fullbacks, we know we can bring them in, and we don't see a significant drop. So they need those same answers elsewhere because they've done pretty well in that situation. So they have a blueprint. They just don't seem to follow through with that because if you look at the bench, what players fit into a Trossard or a Zinchenko mode role? We don't have any in those other positions, right? We don't feel confident when Vieira comes on, right? At least I don't. Erdegaard goes out, Vieira comes in. Do I feel it's the same? There's a big drop there, right? El Neni, there's going to be a big drop. Jorginho, I think we're happy with that short term. He can't last for a month if somebody goes out, but he can give us, 2 to 3 games and then we'll be fine. But we need more. We need more depth. Yeah. So.
Still,
Yeah.
yeah. Don Larry, you're a bit quiet there, man. What happened? What happened? Arsenal against Lens. What happened, man? 6-0. Did you predict that, brother?
To say the truth, I never predicted that. Considering the fact of the game we had with them that they beat us, although I know that game was our own stupidity, but I never predicted 6-0 like that. All I was predicting was probably 3-1, like 2-0, 2-0. But all of a sudden, I saw 4 goals within 20 minutes. I said, well, what's happening? But well, I believe that we really, really prepare for that game because the way they beat us over there, we didn't like it. And then it will affect our game or our chances if we have drawn if we have drew that game or if we have lost, then the mood and the belief that we are in. But I believe even the players themselves does not think they will beat them 6-0. They just
Mm.
find it easy. Within 20 minutes, they clear the whole field, the whole goals, and then second. If you watch the game second half, they were just say, okay, guy, this is 5-0. Don't need, no need. Let us not rush ourselves, and then we have Wolves at the weekend. But
Mm.
to say the truth, I never dreamt of it.
Don Larry, you know what? Some people have told me that Arsenal have peaked too early, and this is as good as it's going to get. Once we hit the knockout phases, Arsenal are going to be found out. So it's good that we beat Lens 6-0, but that is as good as it's going to get. It's not going to get any better than that, Larry.
I don't believe in that.
No?
You know, I don't believe in what people are saying that we are picked too early. No, in fact, we are supposed to even have 100% because
Mm.
of the team we had in that league. I mean, in that our group, Lens, PSV. The only one I was afraid of was Sevilla, and they flopped. You understand? So it's not that Arsenal just picked up early. I know whoever they gave us in the round of 16 will still perform, and I believe that. Even I was watching them AFTV, and one guy was saying that he's only afraid of Real Madrid and Man City. I'm not afraid of Real Madrid. I'm afraid of Man City, yes, because we have the players and we are in the same league. But I'm not afraid of Real Madrid. If we meet Real Madrid, if we come good, we'll beat them.
I'm
So
scared of Real Madrid.
I'm not buying into that belief that Arsenal has picked up early. Look at I don't understand why people are saying we have picked up early. We did very well last season in the league. It was just a moment of like we are attributing to Partey that last season failure. If Partey has been there, we will not have. And then also, what's the name? This our defensive, our centre back now, Saliba. If
Saliba.
Saliba had not got injured, we will not flop. We will not fall the way we fell. So,
I don't know.
so people are looking at Arsenal of those under Wenger or under Emery. I mean, Arsenal under Arteta since last season has been different, and people are supposed to show that respect. You know, so people are talking that we just pick up, or it's what we call here in the part of the world, we call it initial gra. You know that when you come, you do grigri just and long life you fail. I've not seen Arsenal doing that this season because we are determined. Like Isaac was telling the story that the last time we won the league, the baby at that time is already having 2 babies now. They are married. It's true.
Oh,
You
God.
understand? So, and the whole thing still comes down to why people are expecting too much from Kai Havertz to start hitting the ground running. You know, I can understand the fear of the fans. We want to win the league. We want to win the league. So, Arsenal of these days is different of Arsenal of those days. We might, I will predict that we might get to semi-final in this Champions League.
Ooh. Larry, very, very quickly, we didn't, kind of give away the Premier League last season because Saliba was out injured. There was a lack of rotation. The players were knackered towards the end of the season. They were out on their feet. There was no rotation.
And mistakes.
Yes. That's still bound down to the fact that lack of rotation. Now it now makes us look like we have only one style of play with some set of players. Then when we have 2 important ones out, we have Partey out of the midfield, we have Saliba out of the centre back. Then it became a loose ends. We cannot be comparing Rob Holding with Saliba. You understand? We cannot comparing Lokonga or El Neni with Partey. So everything still boils down to because of the fact that we miss those 2 people because they are the same set of players that we've been using and be getting the result, and now all of a sudden they are not there. So that loophole became wide. So that is why.
Gary, if you're telling me that you predicted 6-0, you are a liar.
Nobody predicted 6. No, nobody did. Nobody did. So yeah, now that shows that everybody who's not complaining, but concerned about the attack and why they're not seeing it this season, it's because everybody's trying to stop it. All right, it's not because we're not that good.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out an answer, which I think that's on Arteta. He needs to figure out an answer as to how to break it down. I think one of the easiest things is to just take the shot when you're in the box. I mean, I think we take so many touches inside the 18, and if we just take the shot one time, I have no doubt more than likely we might be able to get a goal. If not, a deflection that comes back to somebody who should be in the box to put it away, like we've seen, like even in the last couple of games, right? Just like Saka scores on a shot, right, because he's in the box. A lot of times there's nobody in the box, and we're seeing that. So it was good to get the 6 goals, and it shows people that look, it's still there, but everybody's trying to stop it, and that's on us to figure out a way to break it down. So, and it was a good response from the last time we played them. They played at home. They had a lot of energy. They played, their fans got them and helped them out, and we were overcome by that. And then we came home and we said, no, this is what it's supposed to look like. The results are supposed to look like this. So that 14-minute time period where we just kept scoring and scoring and scoring, that's what can happen if you let your guard down.
Yeah.
I think teams let their guard down, but we don't take advantage of it like we did in the last match. I think in the Premier League, it's a little bit tougher when they put their guard down, but you need to take advantage of when it happens. So, I'll take the 6 goals. Everybody, all the goal scorers, that's all the players we expect to score goals for us. So that was a plus. That first 10 minutes, I was like, because I think Havertz missed a shot, and I think somebody else missed a shot a little bit wide. There was a header that was missed, I think. In the first 10 minutes, it looked like there was a couple of goals that we could have scored. And I was like, oh, is it going to be one of those kind of games again? Where we're just going to miss our chances. And for the next 14 minutes, we said, no, we can do it. And we did it different ways, right? Different ways we scored. I mean, you look at each one of those goals, wasn't like the same way. It's just wherever they made a mistake, we punished them. Goalkeeper doesn't put it away. We were right there. We get out wide. We cut inside. Goalkeeper is in trouble. Martinelli, I mean, and for me, that game, Tomiyasu was my player of the match. We got a clean sheet. He had 2 assists. If that was Zinchenko, we would be thinking he had a good game. Tomiyasu does it, and Gabriel's the one getting all the plaudits, right? And it's like Tomiyasu did it, and he's supposedly our defensive, left right back. We bring him in for that, and he's showing a little bit more now. I think that's because he's healthy and all of that. But I don't know. 2 assists from Tomiyasu, I think that's a bonus for us. Anytime he's able to get in that position and put the ball across, and the players are there too, right? So I think it's there. And hopefully we'll see it more, and hopefully we'll take advantage of any mistake. If they let us, if Saka gets the ball, and I think he puts his head down and just attacks, we'll be fine. If he waits for the double team, because it's coming. If he acts before they do, I think he can break them down like he did. I mean, he steps inside, right? And even if they had 3 players around the ball, he said, no, it's my ball, and he tips it over to Jesus. I mean, that's the will that we need. The extra work that you put in, and you saw the results of that. So 6 goals, I'll take it. And hopefully we can build on that. When teams make a mistake, we just have to make sure they regret it.
Gary, you're not concerned that we appear to have peaked too soon?
No, because we haven't been scoring like that all. It's not like we were scoring 1 goal, 2 goal, 3 goal, 4 or 5. No, I don't think so. I think we should be able to at this time be able to take whatever they give us. If a team makes a mistake, we punish them, and that's what happened. Because you saw in the second half, we controlled the game, and they basically got nothing, right? So I think for me, no. Peaking, no. Because we're not right now. Zach is 17 contributions right now in 19 games or something like that, and I think he's still got more levels to him. Martinelli, not where we want him to be scoring wise. Erdegaard, not where we want him to be. Trossard, I think, is doing all right. He needs more minutes, and we'll see that. And Havertz is just scored 2 goals so far in 2 matches. I mean, we still have another level to go as far as our attack. So, you know,
Okay.
I think this time period up to the new year before the big winter break, we should hopefully see our attack hopefully improve a little bit more because we're playing with together as a team, and hopefully that brings a little bit more continuity to that attack.
Brother Isaac, 6-0. You predicted that, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I'll be
No?
lying if I said I did that. I knew
Uh-huh.
we'll win, but I did not predict a 6-0. As Gabriel said, it's more of hard in the Premier League to score 6 goals because at the moment teams are sitting deep and defending against us because they know the way we are playing. We played them last season and we are playing them this season. So they know how we played last season. So they're kind of setting up to stop us. And that is different to the Champions League because teams in the Champions League, we've perhaps not played them recently. So they don't know how we play, despite maybe watching some clips on how we play. So for them setting up to defend, it will be hard for them. And that is why you see in the Champions League, we are joint top scorers because we have 18 goals and Man City has 18. But you look at the defensive side of it, we are the second best joint again with Barcelona. We've conceded 3 games. That is in Champions League. Barcelona 3 games. Is only Real Betis that is ahead of us, having only conceded 2 goals. But when you come to the Premier League, and I was surprised for Brentford setting up to defend. Brentford never defends, plays an open system. But when I saw it defend deep with 5, so that space in the middle of the that is of the goalpost was so compact that you could not see an Arsenal player. 5 defenders and tall. And let me give this stat. You look at the amounts of crosses that we are putting into the opposition box towards the end of each half is high, considered to last season. And why are we doing that? Perhaps it is a system Arteta is bringing up because teams are setting up to defend. But you cannot defend for 90 minutes or 100 minutes or 100 and whatever minutes. Because at some point, the defenders will switch off. And when do defenders mostly switch off? Towards the end of each half. 40 to 45 minutes, you get defenders are leggy, they are kind of tired and they are switching off. And that is when the time that we start putting on more crosses into the box. And this season, we've scored majority of our goals toward the end of the game. And we've won majority of our games, which we'll have drawn last season. We've turned them into wins at the end of the games. Why? We are putting in more crosses. And someone was saying, perhaps this is a system that Arteta has brought up, that towards the end of each game, we are going to hit you with cross after cross, one after another, and we tell you, okay, you've been defending now. Can you defend this to the end? And perhaps 1 or 2 crosses we might catch you, and that's like what Havertz did, catching them when they had switched off, and then we scored. So we have not picked too early. The answer is the system is the same. But the beautiful football for last season in the Premier League, we are seeing it in Champions League because teams in Champions League are not sitting deep to defend. They are playing football.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, we are not able to see that because team against Arsenal are setting up to defend. The first point of action for them is defend, then counter attack for every team against Arsenal. The only team that we've played and did not defend was Tottenham, because they have a the style that we are playing last season is what they are playing. So it's a matter of, you will score 5, I will score 6, I will outscore you. That is the Tottenham style. So we've not picked too early. We are playing the same style, but you realize in the Premier League right now, we are second in possession after Man City. But last season, we were, I think, number 8 possession-wise. We are trying more of control the ball. And why are we having more control of the ball? Our opponents are setting up to defend.
Mm.
I
Well
was,
done.
I was looking at the stats on that, and in 6 of our last 7 games, we have scored either at the end of the half or the end of the match. In terms like,
Mm.
and the only one we didn't, of course, was the Newcastle game where we didn't do well at all attacking. So he's right about that. Like if you look at, like I was looking at this this website, and basically shows when the goals go in, and for us.
Mm.
2 times we scored late in the first half, and then the other games we scored late in the game. I mean, we've got let's see, wow, we've got 7 goals scored late in games.
Mm.
So yeah, you can hold us down, but you can't hold us down for long.
Mm.
I think this style. I think this style I started with last season. This scoring late, because I remember a commentator in BT Sports was saying that it seems now it's no longer Ferguson's time, that now it's Arteta's time. You know, if you watch our game against Man U, it was late. Our game against Bournemouth, it was late. Our game about 2 other games like that, it was very late. We score also, and we scored and we won games last season, also very deep into the last minute of the game. So what Isaac is saying, I started developing since last season.
Mm. Wow, that's interesting. Guys, let's go back into the live chat, maybe for the last time, actually. Let's have a look here. So go to the top, I think. And we've got Ashley D, who's a moderator for the Easy Talk. We've also got the Assembled. We've got Omotubi, who says, welcome back, California TV. Thank you for that, my friend. He goes on to say, good to have you back live today. Happy new month. It's the 1st of December. This month shall be a beautiful success for you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And then Ashley says, he scored a couple of goals against a low-ranked teams. So do not get too excited. I think it's talking about Kai Havertz, that is. Needs to prove himself under pressure against top clubs, Gary.
The layoff against Man City, he did good.
Yeah, no, I think we need him to score goals. Worry about the competitive competition after that, because hopefully that will give him more confidence in those games, right? If he's scoring. So, yes, I get it, but he's played in big games against these teams, so that should not be a concern. So I'll take what I'm getting right now, because it shows some improvement in what we're expecting. So, but yes, he's going to have to perform in the big games if he plays, right?
Yeah.
If he plays, I think I feel more confident with Trossard in those games right now, right? And I think also they can switch between Trossard and Havertz depending on what's required, what the team brings, So, yeah. We shall see.
I think people, fans are still looking at Havertz with what he's playing in Chelsea, but they forgot that he wasn't playing a midfield in Chelsea. He was playing attacking. So they should not rate him as the way he was, or they don't expect the way he scores in Chelsea to score in Arsenal, because he's playing a midfield role.
Aldrich says, the season is still young. We will see a different Kai Havertz with the time. It took a bit for him to get used to the team, but I'm sure he will improve. Kai Havertz isn't an upgrade on Granit Xhaka. All right, I've just been told off then. All right, thank you for that. To speak to the truth, of £65 million spent on Kai Havertz should have used to get a better player. There are many good players, and I think it was Gary was mentioning that. There are many good players Arsenal can get even at 45 to £50 million better than Kai Havertz. £65 million isn't small or cheap. There was something else I saw here as well. I think it was just aimed at what Don Larry was saying. Where are we? Oh,
Then Haaland is 55.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was about Larry was saying that he wasn't scared of Real Madrid. I think that was the comment I saw here. Where is it? Anyway,
we play
Gary,
City twice. We play City twice a season. I think if City can compete with Real Madrid, then we know a little bit about what it's like to compete with top teams in the world. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, it was actually around £25.5 million, but Arsenal refused, and now he cost almost exactly double. That's horrendous.
Yeah.
And Gary, good matters in the house. Actually, because we put a poll out about Kai Havertz. Should Kai Havertz start games now? And he says, actually, no. He should not. A rotation between him and Trossard, as the ability to play a false 9, left 8, and number 10, and the right wing. More options, but Kai Havertz, 29, has to perform from the bench. I don't understand. You were afraid of Sevilla, Don Larry, but afraid of a Real Madrid. This is odd.
Yes, considering Sevilla's history with European football, even though we might be saying it's Europa, you understand? But it's European football. That is why I said at first within the group. I'm talking about within the group, the ones we have in the group. They seem to me to be the toughest among others. I am not saying I'm afraid of Sevilla. Beyond this, I am saying within the group, you understand, within the group, they seem to me to be the toughest. But we found out to be the opposite. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm afraid of Sevilla.
Okay, all right. Aldrich says Tommy Ashley is a gift from heaven to us, and now that he's fully fit, he has to be a starter. And Martinelli and Saka haven't peaked yet, and we are so lucky to have them. I imagine that Bukayo Saka as well as Martinelli will want to stay at Arsenal as long as they believe that Arsenal are ambitious and they want to win major honours. It's good playing attractive football, but that attractive football has to win us major honours, because as a normal fan, I want to see my club winning trophies, Gary, winning major honours.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that's where once again this is coming up again. This whole January window. Are we going to bring in a player that's going to give us that extra energy, extra bump, that we need to get things done? Because we don't know if Partey comes back. We hope he does. We know that Nketiah, at least I believe Nketiah isn't the best that we have behind Jesus. So and the wear and tear of the season will come along, and we're going to need. For me, I want a midfielder, but I think yes, January window will tell us. I think we can't go. We can't have an empty window. I think we need some player to come in to help us. So because we're right, I think we should be solid in the matches that we have, but we just don't have the depth that I think we need. So yeah.
Wouldn't you rather go for a striker? I can guarantee you 25 plus or 20 to 25.
We're getting. I think for me, I'll take one, but I think that midfield worries me again, because I still not 100% sure. I like to think Havertz will continue to improve, but nothing leads me to believe that just yet, right? We hope Martin Odegaard actually comes back to form, but we don't know, right?
Yeah.
And the answers behind them, not good.
Yeah.
Who's behind Odegaard and who's behind Havertz, right? Outside of Trossard, who also covers the front line, right? So I think we need. I think the midfield needs a little bit more support than we have. We have Jesus, we have Havertz, we have Nketiah, right? If you're selling Nketiah, then I think yes. I mean, it'd be nice if we can sell Nketiah to a team that has a player we might want. Might do a little switch with a little bit of cash, maybe. I think Brentford could do it in Nketiah, right? So and make some money off of their striker. They don't necessarily. I don't know if he's going to give them to that place if they bring him back and play him. You know what I mean? So I think they're doing well without him. I think so. We'll see.
Okay. Right.
So yeah.
Isaac, there's a question in the live chat. I'll put it to you. It's from Glenwood. It says, "Would you rather win ugly or play attractive football and lose the Premier League?" That's an easy question.
Win. Either way, the only thing we want at the end of the day is a win. because you play beautiful football without results, we will eat you alive. What we want is results. So win scrappy, win beautifully. At the end of the day, what matters is a win. Is what do you have at hand?
Yeah.
So, and something I had forgotten. Someone in the comments said, we want to see a midfield of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. I'm sorry to disappoint them because they might not see that combination with a favorite boy, Havertz. Where will he be playing if you have a Rice on the right, others on the left side of the number 8? So it might be a bit hard because you look at the options that we have for midfield. You will be having Rice. You have Partey. You have Jorginho, who play the same number. So it might come hard for Partey. So there is a possibility that it might be sold during the January transfer window. But as Gary says, our priority is getting in someone who will play for you consistently when you need them, and a replacement that is a good backup for Saka. Perhaps go for Pedro Neto because he can use both feet. Go for Pedro Neto if that is okay with them. That is a good backup. If he's not there, it is not a big drop-off. You cannot see a big drop-off. And then you can win. You can fight for something. But if you do not do that, and some are suggesting that we need a striker who can give you 20 to 25 goals, and it's going to be a hard thing for Arteta to do unless he offloads one of his strikers. Because you cannot just bring in another striker and you have Nketiah, Jesus, and you have Havertz who can play false 9, and you have also Trossard who can play a false 9. He'll have to offload one.
Yeah. Anyway, last segment. We're back in Premier League action against the Wolves. Now, here's a question for you, Don Larry. Can a wolf beat a cannon?
No.
Right. All right. So
this season, they beat Man City. Don't forget that.
Thank you for that, Larry. You just spoiled my my intro, man. So what's the prediction then for tomorrow, Larry?
But Man City did not have Rodri in that game. Remember all the games that Rodri did not play, they lost.
See, I don't like this attitude, all this talk about Rodri. You understand? Rodri is not the only good player, only good midfielder in that Man City team. They are compact and they have a good style. That's what they are saying. They say the time we beat them, there was no Rodri. You understand? I don't forget about this Rodri thing. Yes, he's a good player, but that does not still make you to beat Man City if you do not do your play right. You understand?
Will you take him at Arsenal?
You sir? Yes.
Okay.
I will take him. He's a good player. But I don't want to buy the idea that because he was not there. Man City is a complete team. And it's not about one person game. A one person team. You understand? So I don't buy that idea because they beat them without Rodri. Wolves was good that day. Wolves was very good that day.
Allow me to give you stats, Don Larry. The stats are that this season, Man City have conceded more goals than they did last season at this point. And the reason
Yes,
is why
I
they
know they
have
are struggling.
conceded more. Conceded more. The reason is Man City has some weakness that people have not realized. They are shipping in more goals. And for me, for them offloading Gundogan was a big mistake. Gundogan could come in and play the Rodley role, and you could not see a drop off. But they let him go, and they brought in a Kovacic who's aging and does not play the same system. The system is not the same. He played a different system at Chelsea. And to be honest, this season for me, I have a feeling that we have even a more good chance to compete with City than we had last season because of that small weakness that they have, most people have not realized. And for them, they've struggled, despite the fact that the Don here does not buy the idea that they have struggled without Rodri. Indeed, they have. Amidst their losing streak, they lost 3 Premier League games without Rodri, but there were championship games in between, and they won those games because Rodri was not suspended in those games. He was suspended in the Premier League, whereas in the Champions League he was playing, and they won those games. Win Champions League, lose in the Prem. Win Champions League, lose in the Prem, and that was the interchange. So it's like for us last season, we struggled when we did not have Partey. But this season we are not struggling without Partey because we have a better cover. Actually, not a better cover. We brought in someone who came in front of him. That is who could be picked, who is picked in front of him. So there are key players that you could build your team around. So, for instance, right now Arteta could not build a team around Partey because he's not sure of Partey when he's going to be injured. But he can easily build a team around that is Rice because he understands this guy can give him 50 games a season. So sometimes a player could be a very big influence. Like when Odegaard did not play, we missed his creativity and we struggled. So there are games where you will miss a player because maybe of his defensive side or because someone in his creative side. Uh, that depends who is covering up for them. For Man City, for them getting offloading or allowing Gundogan to go, that one for me was a big mistake, and that one might end up biting them.
Hmm.
I agree with you. You understand on some of the points you made. Yes, they are right. But what I am saying is this: Man City cannot be compared to Arsenal. Neither will Arsenal be compared to Man City. Man City has more than two players, good players at a particular point, position. You understand? So, okay, now Gundogan has gone because probably has changed the style of their play, which is not suitable for them now. You understand? And there are games I mean, that with Rodri and they still lost. And there are games without Rodri and they themselves they won. So I am not totally believing that because of Rodri is not there, that's why they lost. If you did not play well, or the other team was able to match your game style at that point in time, it does not mean because Rodri, one player is not there. Yes, it will have an influence. That's why teams like Man City has 2, 3 people who can play the same position. I've not seen John Stones playing in the central midfield for some time, and yet they are winning. If John Stone is there, they also win. That does not mean they will lose. You understand? So I am saying that Man City, yes, they have been struggling this season right from what go. Even the games that Rodri play in, they struggled. So I don't want to believe but it has effect. I am not writing what you said out. No, it has effect. Yes, but that does not mean that because the players did not play, that's why they lost. I don't want to believe that. That means the coach does not know what he's doing.
Gary, Arsenal versus Wolves.
Yeah, I guess I'll go start with my prediction and go from there. But like
Yeah.
I always say that we're good for 3 goals in any game. So I have 3-0. Once again, we're playing home, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the team will be, after the last match, we'll calm down a little bit. They are missing two center backs or 2 defensive players. So with that, if that's almost like not playing the best defense against us because they're going to drop in quality somewhat there. So we should have a little bit more. I think a little bit more of what we wanted, a little bit more time to do what we want to do in that particular case. So yeah, I think we should be able to get the win there for sure. The win. We should be able to. We're starting to get clean sheets at home, so need to do that again. So they're missing Neto. I mean, they missed their chances as well. I think that's the one thing they're similar to us in is that they have been getting a lot of chances. Kuna, I think his name is, really has been helping them out in the attack. If we can calm him down, they won't get much. You know what I mean? And we have, as long as we have Saliba and Gabriel in that middle pairing there, I'm confident. Our back line, I'm so confident with the back line right now.
Yeah.
They've been playing really well. Doesn't matter who we play. Doesn't matter who's behind them. Raya or Ramsdale, doesn't matter. And then Rice in front of that back line. I mean, that right there, those 6 players right there should make us feel confident about our defense, right? It's just that our attacking needs to be improved, and maybe we found something in the last match, and we'll see a lot more of it going forward, especially in this game, because I think we're gonna need to get to the point where we're scoring a large amount of goals against some of the teams lower in the table, so that when we get into those bigger games, we get less chances. We'll hopefully have picked up our, been a little bit more clinical in our finishing, and the chances we get, we take care of it. So, yeah. So that's kind of how I see this thing going. It should be a win for us, be a nice clean sheet as well, and continue that through until we need to have a winning streak going into that Liverpool match for us to have a good game there. So yeah.
Isaac, for you to end it off.
I've not said my predictions.
Oh, sorry, Don. Don.
It was the argument of Man City that took me off. Yes, like I was saying, Wolves seems to be very good this season, but I believe we'll win them. I can say 3-1. 3-1. We may not have a clean sheet, but I know we'll win.
Okay. All right. Brother Isaac.
With the idea that most teams are setting up to defend against Arsenal this season, I'm going to go with a 2-0 because I believe they might set up to defend. That is at the Emirates. They will not come attacking at the Emirates. So I believe they will set up in a defensive style. And 2-0.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I imagine.
Let us not forget one factor. We pray that we have a good referee who is not and VAR that will not turn against us like Newcastle.
You know what? We don't need VAR. VAR is here to stay right now. The officials are here to stay right now. And you know what? We've got 11 players on the pitch. We've got 5 attackers. That should make sure that VAR has no play, no influence on the game.
Exactly. Well said.
Against Newcastle, we didn't create enough, and we paid for it. Most games we create and we make the teams pay. So we're never gonna win. We're not gonna win against. Nobody wins against VAR. Nobody wins against the officials. So the only other thing you can be is the other team.
Well said, Gary. Well said. But you know what? We've come to an end on this extended version of the EASYTALK. They all were staying inside an hour. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. Friendsreunited.com. There you go, on Canon 40 TV. Well, Gary, what a welcome back.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you for having me, Isaac and Don, Larry. It was great having you guys on chatting. got a lot. We got a lot off of our chest.
Yeah.
Arsenal's given us a lot. I mean, we've been smiling the whole time, no matter no matter who we're talking about. So I think Arsenal is doing us good right now. So we need to keep that going. All right, keep it going. Yeah. So this holiday break will, hopefully we're all, let's say we're all happy with our Christmas Eve, match, and we're smiling. We're smiling on that night as well. So
Yeah. So are we winning the league, Gary?
are we winning the league? We are setting ourselves up to. I'm not gonna like City is City, so I'm never gonna say they don't have it. They are the leaders. They have the odds to. There are odds on favorite to win it, but we have a chance. We have to. We know why we haven't competed late in the season, the last 2 seasons. So we know what we need to do. Whatever holes we have, we need to fill them in January. Whatever styles we need to be ready for, we need to handle those as well. So we can. We just have to execute, either in the market or just on the pitch.
Yeah. Mikel Arteta, are you listening? Larry, good to see you back on Cannon 42. Finally, Don.
Yeah, I'm back. Now let me share you a good news. I'm getting my PhD tomorrow.
Yeah.
Doc. Don.
The Don.
The Don.
So it's actually a doctor of science.
Well,
Wow.
listen.
Congratulations.
That's good. That's good, man. That's good. That's good to hear. And finally, brother Isaac, man. Again, back to back easy talks for you.
The hot seat. I said it's going to be hot. And indeed it was hot. We said it was going to be 1 hour. It was 1 hour 40 minutes. So it was indeed hot. It is interesting to talk about Arsenal at the moment. And people are saying the elephant is on top of the tree. We don't mind whether you call us the elephant. We are going to stay there for the time being. And why I say they are jealous, yes. And why I'll say we have a good chance this season. Last season, Man City beat us home and away. But this season, we took 3 points off them at home.
Yeah.
So
Now we are going to take another
we have,
one.
if we maintain that consistency now, despite the fact that we dropped points against Tottenham and Fulham, which we didn't last season, we did not lose those games. We drew. But we got 3 points off Man City. We have a good chance. So we've got to hold and don't make mistakes like we did. Actually, mistakes in the West Ham and Southampton games cost us the league. We dropped 4 points, which were massive points. We were not supposed to drop those points. And because of the inexperience we had, we dropped the points. But I'm hoping Arteta has learned, because he's been learning quite well. He finished 8th twice, and I do not expect him to finish 2nd twice. Finish 2nd once and give us the league, and we'll smile.
Isaac, very quickly, but do you not think there's more pressure on us this time round? Because last season, nobody, and I mean nobody, could have predicted that we stayed so top of the Premier League. But this season, there's so much pressure for us to replicate that performance, and on top of that, we are in the Champions League. So there's more pressure on us. The fine lines.
Yes, there is more pressure on us because we set the standards for ourselves. Nobody set the standards for us. We did it ourselves. So it is us to do it again. People did not expect us to finish 2nd last season. If you look at most of the predictions, most of them were putting us fourth, but we came in 2nd, and 2nd with a few points. We closed the gap. The margin between us and Man City, the previous season, was 25 points, if I'm not wrong. But last season, you see the match, we closed the points margin. And this season, I do not expect that we fumble with it. And I said it is like with us, the former education system, which is now has been replaced with a different education system, was much of result oriented. If you scored 400 out of 500 marks, your instructors expect you to go upwards, not to drop. And that is the league as it is. We expect the to see the progress. And my friends, there are a few friends of mine at United who come out and are honest with me. And they tell me, with Arteta from the word go, you could see the plan. You could see the plan, and that is what they loved about Arteta. You could see what he wants, his style of play, everything he wanted. You could see what he wants to do, and we've seen, and it has paid off. So, because I said I'm assuming that I'm the child on the top of the mountain and I cannot see far, and is the old man, as that saying says, that he's able to see far. If he's so far with Havertz, is Havertz giving us the Prem or the Champions League? Well done, well done. I'll hold up my hands and say, wow, I'm very sorry.
Okay, brilliant. So, Brother Isaac, thank you again. Back-to-back Easy Talks. The next time you will see me will be tomorrow. I'll be doing an instant post-game reaction. Yes, that question: can a wolf beat a cannon, or can a cannon beat a wolf?
If a wolf does that, the teeth will come off. Cannot be the cannon.
We have the gun. We have the gun to shoot the wolf. That right and center, we will scatter them and we will break them anyhow. We'll kill them, all of them.
If the cannonball rolls on the wolf's tail, it's stuck. It's not moving. You don't even have to shoot it. It'll be stuck right there as we just run around it. So
yeah, we won't have to shoot it.
We will comb them.
Anyway, guys, thank you for giving me your time. Have a great evening. And like I said, next time you will see me will be tomorrow on an instant post-game reaction. Arsenal versus Wolves. Anyhow, this has been Canon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.